Okay, this is our community Zoom event for July with the subject. God, what is the subject? um, the gift of being present with ourselves. So, what does being present with ourselves mean to you? And is that a gift? I think it depends on which way you look at it. Being present with ourselves, truly present with ourselves, means that we sort of function like a fair witness to ourselves, being aware of the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, the awarenesses, the perceptions that go through in our being, that are present in our being, and not judging them, being aware of them, and maybe being willing to ask questions. At least that is what is true for me. And I have to say, once I started willing to be truly present with myself, there is a lot that as a sudden became possible to change. Because A, I was aware of it. B, I started to ask questions. What is this all about? What is going on here? Just exploring it and allowing the awareness of what it is all about to really come in, and then look at it and see, was this something that I wanted to continue? Or was it something that I wanted to change, that I even wanted to totally let go of? And that is what I consider the gift, because it allows change to happen. And how shall I say? There is an honesty with self required. And if you are still caught in judging yourself, which can be a favorite pastime most of us humanoids have, but if we're willing to just be present with it and be honest with ourselves. I think my first real big experience was when I realized that I can play victim really well. And I didn't see myself even as a victim. I mean, that was not how I would describe myself. I was anything but a victim. Yet there was something going on in my life at that point in time, and being really present with myself, I had to acknowledge that I was playing victim really well. And so I started asking myself, if I'm not a victim, how come I know how to play victim so well? Somewhere that didn't jive. And it really was not something that I appreciated, that I was proud of, because it destroyed the image that I had of myself. And at the same time, it really allowed me to start changing something and get out of judgment about being the victim. I mean, victim is a great way to manipulate others. And in that instance, I was only manipulating myself, but nevertheless, it's a manipulative tool And if I allow myself to acknowledge it, I also give myself access to choosing that energy. And if I judge myself, then I'm cutting off my awareness of that energy. And it becomes so much more difficult for me to notice if somebody else is playing victim and trying to manipulate me, or if I would like to access that energy in order to manipulate something, but not having the awareness of the energy, I can't access it either. So there is a real gift in it, with being honest with ourselves. And for me, that led that self-honesty led actually to making the decision to dump all the definitions that I had of myself, to let go of those. Because if I'm not what I thought I was in that instance, how many other instances are there where I'm not what I'm thinking? And what if I just stop defining myself and allow everything to be present? And not to say that I'm truly allowing everything to be present, but my world in that sense has opened up so much more. And also, I'm may go for a moment into self-judgment, but I'm not really getting stuck in it anymore either. So there is quite a gift in being willing to be present with ourselves. And the other gift that I have noticed is being able to be present with myself. I can actually be present with others in a different way, um, different in the sense that there is truly no judgment. I'm just present and willing to perceive the energies, and listening less to the words behind which we often hide. I mean, I noticed it with myself. I was not a victim, yet I knew how to play it. So obviously, there was something that I was hiding from myself. And so, as a facilitator, I have a different possibility now to be present with participants in a class or clients. So I really appreciated that outcome. And what else is possible for you that you may know, that I may not even be aware yet, that if you would be totally present with yourself, would give you a level of freedom that you have never experienced before. Truly being present with ourselves gives us that choice of freedom, and just increases the choices we have, I would say. And that's a really cool thing. So this is it is really strange for me, having facilitated now with people present, to do the conversation all by myself. So is there any question that you want to type in, or is there, what can I perceive that might be going on? being present with ourselves requires a level of vulnerability that we may shy away from, because we have been so entrained to the fact that being vulnerable is being weak, and it also opens us up to getting hurt. And the question that I have for you is this true? Are you increasing your chances of getting hurt if you are vulnerable, or are you actually decreasing your chances? What do you know if you sit with that question? And my experience is that it actually decreases the chances of getting hurt, because having practiced Aikido ages ago in the early 90s, I like the analogy to Aikido. Aikido works because you use the energy that an attacker has to get them to stumble. And the reason they stumble is because the wall of resistance that they expect to be there is not there. I'm sidestepping the attack and let the attacker run through, and they stumble. And if you look at being willing to be vulnerable, isn't that exactly the same thing as if somebody attacks me, they expect that wall to be there against which they can push. And if I am vulnerable, that wall is not there. It's similar to stepping aside in Aikido, and the attacker just goes right through. Can't push against anything. So it's actually increasing my, if you want to call it, safety, because there is nothing to push against. And that is also why, in Access, we talk about if you receive a judgment, and it doesn't mean you hold on to it, you just let it through, there is no effect on you. So would you be willing to entertain that idea and play with that idea? But there is that vulnerability and that willingness to be present with yourself that is really simultaneously there. And what can you go with that? What can you do with it? How much more are you able to perceive, to be aware of, if you are willing to be present? I mean, how much do we check out because we do not want to be aware of something? And if we're present, our awareness increases. Is this good? Is this bad? I think that depends on your point of view. Where you want to be, what you want to do, where you want to go. For me, it is valuable, especially as a facilitator, because the more I can be present, the more possibilities I have to successfully facilitate a person, to really help them get unstuck from something. So where are you, and where do you want to go with being present? It is truly a gift. And that's all I can say. And all I can do is invite you to play with it, to experiment, to see what happens to you if you are present, and what happens if you check out, if you're not willing to be present? And what's the impact? What are you creating with that? It's a choice you're making, and every choice you make creates. So what are you creating with being present or not being present? And is that what you want to create? And keep in mind, there is no right or wrong, in the sense there is just, what are you creating? Is that what you would like? And if you want to go with right and wrong, if you're creating something that you do not like, you could call that wrong. And is it truly wrong? Or is it just having more of an awareness of, this is what I like, this is what I don't like? And as humanoids, we have to go actually more to what we don't like in order to find out what we do like. So, is this wrong? From my perspective, it isn't. And every choice, I never in my life made a wrong choice if I'm really willing to look from that perspective. Because every choice gave me more awareness, which allowed me to make the next choice. You know, and as a result of all the choices that I made throughout my life, I am where I am today. Am I happy with that? Then that's great. If I'm not happy with that, then I have awareness what it is that I might like better than where I am today, and can make choices that will create that. So being willing to be present with the outcome of my choices also gives me more information how I want to create my life, where I want to go, where I want to be. And all I can do is, as I said, is invite you to go there and be with that. So, is there anything else that I would like to say? No, I can't really come up with anything. So it is a short video, obviously. And I hope maybe we can have a conversation via comments. I will post the video in the community so people can watch it and hopefully comment and let me know what worked for you, what didn't work for you, and also let me know what it is that you would like. There is some more events that are coming up once a month. Do you want more than one a month? What can we create, and what would you like to create that community as? Is it just one where you loosely check in, or one where there is a vibrant communication? Again, it's your individual choice, and I am present, and I'm demanding of myself to stay more present and not drop that because other things are going on in my life. So I plan on making some changes. Take care, have a great time, and until the next event or the next conversation within the community. Bye-bye.